Alright, welcome to the Secret Time Travel Podcast. This is episode 27 something. I don't know. We never know what episode it is.
28. It's 28.
I really doubt that. But anyway, today we're going to be talking about the best TV show I've ever watched, at least in my short lifespan. That spans 17 years. Or tied best, because I cannot decide which one is better, Star Trek Deep Space Nine or Star Trek The Next Generation. Both are the best, in my opinion.
I see.
But, okay, now, the reason why we've decided to talk about this today is because, first of all, we couldn't find a better topic.
Well, it's not that we couldn't find a better topic. We just kind of put it together.
Yeah,
because it was convenient.
We're too lazy to think of a better topic, and we were gonna have to discuss this anyway in different times, so might as well record us discussing this and put it on the internet.
Oh gosh.
Alright. So the reason why we're talking about this is because a long time ago, I recommended to a lot of people to watch Star Trek Deep Space Nine. This was before I lost faith in everyone around me listening to my suggestions for TV shows.
Right.
So I recommended a bunch of people Deep Space Nine, and lo and behold, Tom is the only person who listens to this suggestion. And
Yes.
he watches a list of like 10 episodes I made to kind of condense the first season. Because the first season is 20 episodes, and I made it into I don't think it was 10. It was probably more like 8. So I made 20 episodes into 8. So I did that, and then he watched it, and then he went away from it for a long time, and then I gave him the rest of the list. And then I realized, as I look through the list, because I'm probably going to start a rewatch later tonight of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and I looked at the list, and I realized this list is terrible. You know, it had a lot of episodes on it, which is why I thought it was good. But it turns out you miss a lot of plot development and details and mini story arcs in that episode list.
Oh.
And so now I have taken upon myself to come up with a complete condensed Deep Space Nine, or at least to the best of my ability. I haven't seen Deep Space Nine since I was 14. I'm now 17, so it's been 3 years since I finished it. So to the best of my ability, I've made a condensed list of Deep Space Nine episodes.
Yes. Yes, you did.
Yeah. Now I will tell you that I won't tell you the list just yet, because we'll talk more about Deep Space Nine. But this list, to fill out all the episodes on this list, I've used 2 complete sheets of paper.
What?
I've used 2 complete sheets of paper to write down all the names of the episodes.
Oh, why didn't you just use a computer?
Because I had to use multiple devices to look through all the episodes and see which episodes were necessary for plot details.
Oh man.
I was looking at different sources, like, okay, Wikipedia says this, Memory Alpha, which is the Star Trek wiki page, says this, blah blah blah, this character appears in that episode, he does what in this episode. I had to check all that stuff to see if there was stuff I was thinking of in my head and whether or not certain episodes needed to be there or needed not be there. But anyway, so I'm going to talk about Deep Space Nine. Deep Space Nine. Okay, this is if people listening, and I'm sure there's no one listening.
Right.
If you're not a Star Trek fan, you maybe wouldn't understand Star Trek, because your perception of Star Trek is probably the movies, and especially the new movies. And frankly, the new movies are terrible. As a Star Trek purist, the new movies are terrible. Beyond is less terrible, but still very terrible. And frankly, the only person who really, I think, actually does justice to the original character is Carl Urban as Dr. McCoy. That's the only actor who I think did the original character justice. To be perfectly frank. You know.
To be frank.
Yeah. I'm the kind of Star Trek fan who's like, I see a Spock Uhura romance and I'm like, that makes no sense. Get it out of my face. Right, so anyway, and even the old movies don't really give you the essence of Trek in the way that Trek as a TV series gives you. And so while I love TNG, I know that it's not a lot of people's cup of tea. a lot of people's Earl Grey tea, perhaps. Um, and so I have heard it been said.
You've heard it been said?
I've read it on places. I've read certain people say that Deep Space Nine is the Star Wars of Star Trek, and I agree with that, because if there's any show that people who don't like Star Trek are gonna get into, I would definitely say it's Deep Space Nine. You know, TNG is way too Trekky for most people. I think Deep Space Nine is less Trekky and more relatable, especially for modern audiences. Sorry?
Isn't TNG more of like a politics kind of thing, and Deep Space Nine is more action or something? That's what you said when you you first told me.
Well, let's look at it this way. Deep Space Nine has way more action, but it also has way more politics in it. Or
TNG?
Yeah, than TNG, and it's not really politics. It's not politics. It's more of like world building and like real plot developments. You know, like that's what Deep Space Nine has, and TNG doesn't have that. TNG is all about self-contained episodes with a certain set of. Dang it! I can't get my phrases right. With a certain cast of characters. That's what I meant. Right. So you've got interesting stories in TNG, and they're really, really good, you know, and a lot of them have morality lessons in it as well, which is, you know, that's what I love about Trek, especially TNG. But Deep Space Nine, but yeah, the thing is, and you probably won't know this, but like classic sci-fi is not about the characters. I mean, yeah.
What? But why?
I mean, it can be, but the most golden age sci-fi, if we're talking about books, golden age sci-fi, it's about situations more so than characters in a situation. And so you end up with stories like, I don't really even know how to describe it. Basically, a lot of sci-fi writers in the golden age of sci-fi, which is like the 50s and the 60s,
right?
You could even say the 40s, in terms of books, I should clarify. A lot of the stories have little to do with characters and like how they feel and character development and character growth. It's more about situations and the science of the situations. Like, you know, the Foundation trilogy by Isaac Asimov, it's not about the characters. Although there are a lot of characters in that book series, it's not about the characters. It's about the Foundation and how they use mathematics to calculate how to reduce human suffering, basically.
Right.
That's what it's about. And so TNG kind of fits that mold in that it's not about the characters. Even though TNG has some great characters, Captain Picard is one of the best characters I think in all of television history. You know, I really believe that. But with that being said, there's certain things that happen to him that affect him for a few episodes, but then like as you it doesn't affect him on an episode to episode basis. It only affects him when they need it to affect him. You get what I mean?
I guess.
It's like something happens to him in season 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then like for the next 3 seasons, like, oh, he's fine. And then in season 6, they're like, oh my gosh, he's a broken man because of what happened in season 2.
What?
You know, and I'm exaggerating, but essentially there is that, and I'm not gonna say that's bad writing, but you could kind of say it's inconsistent and slightly lazy writing.
I guess, like, no, why would some things in season 2 affect him in season 6?
Well,
like,
no,
what?
but there is a very good reason, and I'm kind of referencing a specific thing when I say that.
Right. I mean, I don't think I'll be watching TNG.
Right, okay. People who are listening to this, which is no one, we've already clarified, if you don't want spoilers for TNG, skip the next minute, basically.
TNG is the next generation.
Okay, yeah, skip the next minute, basically.
Yeah.
So basically, Picard gets captured and assimilated by the Borg in the season 3 finale.
Huh?
And then they get him back in the season 4 premiere, and then in the very next episode he visits his family. You know, he breaks down, he's like, oh my gosh, it was so bad, what happened to me? I don't really remember, but essentially it was that.
Right.
You know? But then nothing else happens to him. But then in, like not like for the rest of the season he's totally fine. But then in season 5, like he's suddenly affected by it again.
Like they implanted something in him?
Actually no, sorry, I don't mean season. Well, no. Then like for the rest of the show he's essentially fine, and then in the second movie suddenly he's all like, I gotta kill all the Borg in the world because of what they did to me.
What?
You know, actually,
I mean,
now
are the movies even canon?
Yeah, they are.
So Nemesis was the thing.
Yeah, as bad as it was a thing. But yeah, I mean, you know, I'm maybe exaggerating it a little bit, but basically what I mean is that while it affects him, it doesn't affect him in a I shouldn't say consistent way either, but it's like something happens to him in that season 4 in that season 3 finale, and then he's kind of okay, and then every time they want to make an episode about what happened to him, suddenly he's affected by it and it's like a big deal. When before this he was perfectly fine. You know, he was perfectly fine as a captain.
Right.
So that's like the only problem I can find with TNG is that they have stuff like that.
Right.
That and the fact that Worf is a total pushover in TNG.
Worf. Isn't Worf the guy with the weird head?
He's a Klingon.
Are you sure he's not a Cardassian?
No, he's a Klingon. Confusing Cardassians and Klingons is like that's not even possible.
They both have weird head things. I mean,
but one's white, the other's always black.
Okay.
I mean, that's just me being honest, alright? That's me being honest.
Okay, man, you don't have to put it... Yeah, right.
No, but honestly, though, legitimately, that's it.
One of them is a light-skinned alien, and the other one is Puerto Rican.
What? No? Okay. Alright. So why I've always loved Deep Space Nine is because Deep Space Nine kind of is not similar to other Trek in the way that it really, I think, examines characters in a much better way than TNG ever did. And I think a lot of that, you know, I don't think Ronald D. Moore was involved with, like, I don't think he was one of the big guys. What?
Ronald McDonald?
Ronald D. Moore, he was one of the writers on Deep Space Nine.
Did he make Ronald McDonald?
No. Ronald D. Moore, I think he was like a normal writer in TNG, but he was more important in Deep Space Nine, and so I think he's one of those guys. He also did the Battlestar Galactica remake, which did really well ratings-wise. A lot of critical success. So I think Ronald D. Moore, he probably brought that in, and Ira Bear also was probably really important as well. He was another one of the writers. But anyway, yeah, so Deep Space Nine is a lot more human than other Trek, you know, and of course, I mean, Trek as a whole is very much about humanity, but Deep Space Nine was more human than all the other Treks, which are also about humans, of course, but I just feel like it was better in that aspect. And also, I'm like this really big nerd. And so
no, I think we've got that, you know, from this topic.
So I'm a really big nerd, really big geek, and Deep Space Nine really appeals to that aspect of me because it's all about like, oh, this happened here at this particular location, which is next to this planet, which is in this star system. Oh, and this star system has this person, and this person doesn't like that person, so they have like issues with each other, and so they got to deal with that across like so many different things. And it's like, it's just really cool for that sort of geeky, like if you're a big geek, like you will like Deep Space Nine because Deep Space Nine has so many storylines that are moving around and stuff.
Right.
And also, okay, this is probably like, if there's one thing about Deep Space Nine that I would like tell people to convince them to watch it, is that it has, in my opinion, the best TV villain for me. Dukat. Dukat is the best TV villain there is.
Dukat, I've heard that name before in the episodes.
Well, yeah, but he's also been on screen.
Has he though?
Yes, he has.
Oh yeah, he has.
Although, like I said, I mean, Tom has already has essentially finished the first 2 seasons from the original list that I gave him. I now have a better list which has a lot of season 2 episodes in it. Not a lot, but like a few that I wish I had given you sooner. There is a few here that I would recommend you go back and watch anyway.
And season 1?
In season 2. Season 1, nah. Nothing like that in season 1. But in season 2, yes. There is like 3 here that I think you should go back and watch.
Right.
Sorry.
Right. I'm kind of at the final episode already, man.
I know, but it's alright. It's alright. You know, it's alright.
I even stopped halfway because of this in the final episode.
Sorry. So, also, look, I also, one of the papers, right? One of the papers covers, the entire paper is only the second half of season 5 until the end.
The what?
One of the pages that I have written in it, I have completely filled. One of the pages that I have on my paper here is only from the second half of season 5 until the end of the show, which is season 7. And it's like, before that I could cover like 3 seasons in one paper, but now yeah, there's a lot of episodes, a lot of important episodes towards the end. So, what do you think about Deep Space Nine so far, now that I've talked about why I love it so much?
Oh, well, I don't know. Wait, what? What was your question?
What do you think about it so far, having watched...
Oh, what do I think?
Yeah.
I thought you were like, oh, what do you think? I'm like, what? Alright. I don't know. I think it's pretty fun. It's pretty entertaining. I like Quark. Quark is one of my favorite characters. I don't know why.
I should say that a lot of Ferengi episodes are separate from the main plot. Although they are very entertaining in my opinion. They're very funny. I really like the Klingon. Sorry, not Klingon episodes. The Ferengi episodes.
The Klingon episodes.
I really like the Ferengi episodes because I think they're funny. Some people don't, but I personally think they're funny. And so I'm glad to hear that you like it, because I have put the Ferengi episodes here just because I felt like, yeah, even though they're kind of their own thing.
Yeah, because Ferengis, man. Rule of Acquisitions? Yeah, Rule of Acquisitions was an episode in season 2 that I saw.
You saw that? I thought you said you didn't.
No, I mean, I saw the title.
Yeah.
I saw the title pass by, when I was scrolling down to find a certain other episode.
Right.
Yeah. Rule of Acquisition number 102. I forgot the Rule of Acquisition.
there's like 280.
Oh gosh. Rule of Acquisition number 35. War is good for business. Rule of Acquisition number 36. Peace is good for business.
So what do you think about, other than Court? What do you think
of the entire show?
Yeah, just the show so far. I mean, it's the first 2 seasons, which I think season 1 is to me not good, although it's better than TNG season 1. Season 2, now that I look back at it, actually does have quite a few decent episodes, but season 3 is when it really starts to take its shape.
Well, right. I mean, like, I like the show. It's entertaining. Like, right. It's like it's kind of like one of those shows where you want to know what happens next. I guess, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I just like it. I just watch it, man.
Right.
I'm not like a big geek like you. Like, I want to find.
Yeah, I get it. Guys, I took out my Star Trek map book and I showed him the maps of everything, the geography of how stuff worked.
You have an entire map of, like, what was it, the Alpha Quadrant or something?
The Alpha and parts of the Beta Quadrant, yeah.
Yeah, but you don't have the Gamma Quadrant. Why? No one knows.
Well, I do have a map of the Gamma Quadrant. It's just that the Gamma Quadrant is more is not as explored as the Alpha and Beta Quadrants, and so the maps are less detailed.
Oh.
And the same goes for Delta Quadrant as well.
So there's Alpha, Beta, Gamma, and Delta.
Yes.
Is there a Charlie Quadrant?
No, it's just 4.
Right. So the Gamma. All right. Well, I can't discuss this with you right now.
Why is that?
This could be a spoiler episode.
Oh, okay. Well. Now let's not get into spoilers.
Right.
Because as despite the fact that no one is listening, if someone is listening, I do recommend wholeheartedly that you watch Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Anyway, since you have no other thoughts about the show, or do you? Okay, well.
Oh, no, I do.
Okay.
Morn should have his own episode. Morn should have his own episode exploring his daily life, his struggles, because I think there's more to him than just quirks. I don't know what is he to Quark?
He's a regular. He's like always there at the bar.
Yeah, the Quark's regular, right? He has a reason to drink all the time. He's depressed, guys. Explore that.
Explore that. Who mourns for Morn? All right. I should additional note before I get into the episodes. Star Trek Deep Space Nine is one of only, I think it's two things. Yeah, one of only two TV shows that have made me cry. Alright? And the first is Doctor Who, because when the Doctor regenerates, that is Walter Works.
I don't want to go.
Specifically when the 10th and the 11th one regenerated. As much as I like 12, I still think they he's talking to nobody.
No, yeah, he is talking to nobody.
He's not talking to anybody. It makes no sense.
No, but he's talking to the TARDIS. He's recording all this.
It still doesn't make sense. For it to make sense, I want there to be a whole episode where with the new companion, he's like, I recorded this a long time ago. No one was there at the time. I want you to listen to it though, just because. I want you to listen to it. It's pretty nice. I thought it was nice at the time. I want him to do that.
Alright.
Okay. So into the episodes. By the way, do you want to know what episode it was that made me cry?
Yes.
I've watched this episode like 3 times, and all 3 times I cried.
Oh my god! All right.
It's season 4's The Visitor.
Oh my god!
Which is an absolutely heartbreaking episode. Okay. So, hold on. This is a lot of pieces of papers I've got here. Okay. Now, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start from the very beginning. If you could write this down, it would be helpful.
You know what? I will.
Because or just in your notes or something.
Right.
Like note it down basically, because this is me giving you the list of episodes.
Oh. Right. Hold on, just a sec.
Okay.
Right.
Technically, I could repeat it off camera if you really needed to, but
No. Fine. Let's go now.
All right. Whew. Okay. So I'm gonna start from season 1 just because I have it written down here. Although my season 1 list here is only 3 episodes long, even though I gave you like 8 episodes.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, season one is. These 3 episodes would suffice, although I would recommend going through some other episodes as well. Actually, do you have the episode list of season 1 that I gave you?
I don't think so.
Okay, then forget it. Guys, do the research by yourself for season 1, alright? Okay.
Access.
Season 1, okay, so start off with season 1, episode 1, Emissary. That's the first one. Season 1,
right.
Then you go to season 1, episode 19, Duet.
Right.
Duet, which is my favorite episode of all of Star Trek. Personally, it's my favorite episode of all of Star Trek.
All of Star Trek? Wasn't Duet the one where
don't give spoilers.
No, I'm gonna leave it vague as possible. A certain someone gets in a court case because of that one thing.
It wasn't a court case, but it was like...
It was something like a court case,
He was like kind of being arrested. It was, to me, it's the best episode of all of Trek, honestly. It really is. And honestly, that episode got me close to crying as well at the end. But still, The Visitor's way, way more heartbreaking. Another additional note for The Visitor, it made me not cry once each episode. Actually, I cried up to 3 times in the episode. 3 separate occasions. Cause dude, that episode is actually incredibly sad.
The Visitor?
Yeah, The Visitor from season 4. I might be psyching it up for you now, and now you wouldn't be as sad about it, but to me, it was just, oh my gosh, that is terrible.
Gosh.
Okay.
Right.
Season 1, okay, after Duet, Season 1, Episode 19, Duet. Season 1, Episode 20, In the Hands of the Prophets. That's the season finale for Season 1. Now we start Season 2 with a 3-episode arc. Season 2, Episode 1, The Homecoming. Season 2, Episode 2, The Circle. Season 2, Episode 3, The Siege.
Right.
Okay, now are going to be some episodes that I did not give to you earlier that I should have. Season 2, Episode 5, Cardassians.
Episode 5, The Cardassians.
Season 2, Episode 7, Rules of Acquisition.
Rules of Acquisition.
Season 2, Episode 8, Necessary Evil.
Alright.
Episode 12, The Alternate.
Right.
Episode 20 and 21, which is the Maki Part 1 and the Maki Part 2.
Alright.
Episode 22 is The Wire.
Alright.
Then we go to the Season 2 finale, Episode 26, The Jem'Hadar.
Which I am watching
which
right
you're
now.
currently watching. Okay. Now we go into Season 3. Season 3, Episode 1, The Search Part 1.
Alright.
Season 3, Episode 2, The Search Part 2.
Right.
Season 3, Episode 5, Second Skin.
Whoa. Second skin, like foreskin?
No,
No.
just Second Skin.
Right.
You're messaging these to me apparently.
I accidentally clicked the thing.
Okay.
That was
Well,
not supposed to happen.
That's alright. Season 3, Episode 7, Civil Defense.
Right. Right.
Season 3, Episode 9, Defiant.
Right.
Season 3, Episode 13, Life Support.
This is essentially a list for giving them as well, so you know,
Yes.
feel free to write this down or just watch the video back. Whoever's watching.
Yeah, which is no one. Episode 14, Heart of Stone. Episode 15, Destiny.
Right.
Episode 16, Profit Motive. What?
Profit motive autocorrected to profit bomb.
Okay.
Okay.
Episode 20, Improbable Cause.
Profit bomb. Alright. Profit cause.
Episode 21, The Die is Cast.
The die is certificate, the die is cast.
The Die is Cast. Okay, now the Season 3 finale, Season 3, Episode 26, The Adversary.
Adversary.
Okay, wow. Alright, you ready?
Yeah.
Alright, Season 4, Episodes 1 and 2, The Way of the Warrior.
Alright.
Then Season 4, Episode 3, The Visitor.
Oh. Alright, The Visitor.
Season 4, Episode 4, Hippocratic Oath.
Alright.
Episode 5, Indiscretion.
Indiscretion.
Episode 7, Starship Down.
Alright.
Episode 8, Little Green Men, which is a Ferengi episode.
Isn't that like one of those episodes in X-Files? Potential crossover?
Well, actually, I think the episode has something to do with Roswell. I'll tell you that.
Oh, alright.
Season 4, Episode 11, Homefront. the episode right after that, episode 12, Paradise Lost.
Right.
Episode 14, Return to Grace.
Right.
Episode 17, Accession.
Right.
Episode 18, Rules of Engagement.
Rules of Acquisition.
Rules of Engagement.
Right, wait, I have a question right now. Is Homefront, Paradise Lost, and Return to Grace an arc?
Homefront and Paradise Lost is a two-part. The Return to Grace is not part of that arc, but it's part of the larger storyline, which is why it's here.
Oh, it's not part of that arc. I thought, like... Because it made sense, you know? Like, Homefront, Paradise Lost, they lost. Return to Grace, they got it back.
Return to Grace is actually related to Indiscretion, in terms of, like... Storyline wise, those two episodes are related, but yeah, they're both important to the plot. They're both part of the Ducat storyline, actually.
Ducat!
Okay, so I just gave you episode 18, Rules of Engagement. Episode 19 is not actually necessary, but it's one of my personal favorites, and so I think you should watch it. Episode 19 is Hard Time.
Hard Time?
Yeah, this is a O'Brien episode.
Ooh.
Episode 22, For the Cause.
For the Cause, right.
Episode 23, To the Death.
Right.
Episode 25, Body Parts.
Oh god.
That's the Ferengi episode.
Oh.
Episode 20.
Looks like they're selling dead people now.
Surprisingly close. I'm just kidding.
Oh god, alright.
Episode 26, Broken Link. That's the season 4 finale.
Broken Link, right.
Season 5 the season 5 premiere is Apocalypse Rising. That's season 5, episode 1. Episode 2, The Ship.
the ship. Right.
Episode 4, Nor the Battle to the Strong.
Strong, right?
Episode 6, Trials and Tribulations.
Right.
Episode 8, Things Past.
Right.
Episode 10, episode 10, Rapture.
It's like Jesus is coming down, right?
This show does have a lot to do with religion. Episode 12, The Begotten.
Alright.
Then we move on to episode 13, For the Uniform.
For the Uniform.
Episode 14, In Purgatory's Shadow.
Purgatory's Shadow. Right.
Episode 15, By Inferno's Light.
Did someone go to hell or something?
Season 5 episode 16 is one of only 2 episodes to include a main character's name, and season 5 episode 16 is Dr. Bashir, I presume? Question mark.
What?
Season 5 episode 16 is Dr. Bashir, I presume? Question mark.
Dr. Bashir Ahmad Khan, I presume. It's autocorrect, man. I don't know.
So it's one of only 2 episodes to have a main character's name in the title. The only other episode of the main character's name in the title was also Bashir. It was called Our Man Bashir, but it's not in this list because it's not that important.
Our Man Bashir, right.
Episode 19, Ties of Blood and Water.
Right.
Season 5, episode 20. You're gonna like this one. Ferengi Love Songs.
Oh no. Does Quark's niece get a frisky or something?
No.
No.
Season 5, episode 22,
No.
Children of Time.
What?
Season 5, episode 22, Children of Time.
Oh, the Doctor is making an appearance. Right.
Episode 23, Blaze of Glory.
Right.
Episode 24, Empok Nor.
Empok Nor?
Empok Nor.
Yeah.
Season 5, episode 26, this is the season finale, Call to Arms.
Arms, right.
Now, the first 6 episodes of season 6 are all one story arc. And so season 6, episode 1 is A Time to Stand.
Okay.
Episode 2 is Rocks and Shoals.
Right.
Episode 3 is Sons and Daughters.
Oh, sons, right. Sons and daughters.
Episode 4 is Behind the Lines.
Right.
Episode 5 is Favor the Bold.
Right.
Episode 6 is Sacrifice of Angels.
Sacrifice of Angels. Oh no. Favor the Bold autocorrected to David the Bold.
Okay. So Sacrifice of Angels, and then episode 7 is You Are Cordially Invited.
Cordially Invited.
Episode 9 is Statistical Probabilities.
Not maths. Statistical abilities,
It
right?
has something to do with something similar to Doctor Strange.
Oh god.
Episode 10 is The Magnificent Ferengi. One of my favorite episodes, that one.
No, is it Nog?
No, to me this is one of the funniest episodes of the show.
It's Nog, isn't it? He wants to become a superhero and get
It
profit.
has to do with Korg.
And the Quark's a superhero and wants to get profit from that now.
Okay, so that's episode 10, The Magnificent Ferengi. Then episode 11, Waltz.
Waltz.
Episode 13, Far Beyond the Stars.
Right.
Episode 17, Wrongs Darker Than Death or Night.
Wrongs
Darker Than Death or Night.
Than Death or Night.
Episode 18 is Inquisition.
Inquisition? Spanish Inquisition?
No. Episode 19 is the highest rated episode of the series on IMDb, In the Pale Moonlight.
The Pale Moonlight. Right.
Episode 20 is His Way.
Oh, alright.
Episode 21, The Reckoning.
Right.
Episode 22, Valiant.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 25, The Sound of Her Voice.
Oh god. Sound.
That's one of the sadder episodes as well.
Oh no. Alright.
Episode 26, Tears of the Prophet.
Oh god, of the prophets. Mm-hmm.
Okay, now that was Tears of the Prophets is the season 6 finale. Season 7 starts with season 7, episode 1, Image in the Sand.
Alright, Image in the Sand.
Episode 2, Shadows and Symbols.
Shadows and Symbols.
Episode 3, After Image.
After Image.
Episode 6, Treachery, Faith, and the Great River.
Treachery. Treachery what?
Treachery, Faith, and the Great River.
And the Great River. Are they in Egypt or something, man?
No.
Alright.
Season 7, episode 8 is The Siege of AR-558.
The Siege of AR558. Right?
Yep. Season 7, episode 9 is Covenant.
Alright.
And season 7, episode 10, It's Only a Paper Moon.
Paper Moon, right?
Then season 7, episode 16, Inter Arma Inem Silent Leges.
What? Inter Arma?
Inter Arma Inem Silent Leges.
Inem Silent Leges, right?
Yeah, that was season 7, episode 16, right?
Yeah.
Alright, now the final 10 episodes are again one continuing arc.
Uh-huh.
The final 10 episodes of the show are again a continuing arc, so... Okay, so season 7, episode 17, Penumbra.
Right.
Episode 18, Till Death Do Us Part.
Right.
Episode 19, Strange Bedfellows.
Oh. Right.
Episode 20, The Changing Face of Evil.
Right.
Episode 21, When It Rains.
Alright.
Episode 22, Tacking Into the Wind.
Into the Wind, right?
Episode 23, Extreme Measures.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 24, The Dogs of War.
The dogs I have.
The Dogs of War.
I have dogs.
Okay, and then episodes 25 and 26, the series finale, What You Leave Behind.
What You Leave Behind. 1 and 2. And that's it.
And that's it. That is Deep Space Nine condensed. Hello?
Yeah, Deep Space Nine condensed.
Condensed to, I don't know how many episodes that was, but it's a lot.
1, 2, 3, 4. Well, it's gonna take a while for me to count.
I really tried to shorten it to the amount that I felt like, okay, this is a low amount, but it also includes as many episodes that include plot points as I could.
Oh.
Although, with that being said, I did leave out one arc in the whole show.
Which is?
The Mirror Universe, which doesn't matter.
What is the Mirror Universe?
Well, in the original Star Trek, there was an episode called Mirror Mirror, and in the episode, they entered into a parallel universe where everyone was evil and they had evil goatees.
Oh, that one, right.
Yeah, and so continuing in that tradition, Deep Space Nine decided to have Mirror Universe episodes, and generally there was at least one episode a season that was a Mirror Universe episode, so there's about 7 or 8 episodes. But the Mirror Universe really doesn't matter that much, so...
I mean, are they good episodes?
Some of them are maybe alright, but in my opinion, they all just won't. I don't know, like, if you really wanted to, you could, but I wouldn't put them on the list just because I'm trying to leave only really important stuff on the list.
Right. So, wait a minute, what do you mean Mirror Universe episodes? Like, do they follow another universe, or...?
Yeah, and they have their own plot over the course of the 7 years, but, yeah.
What? Alright.
Yeah, I mean, I can give you the list of Mirror Universe episodes if you want, but, they're not that important, and you don't need to watch them if you don't want to.
Yeah, no, I don't want to.
Okay, yeah.
Mirror Universe. When does this start? Like season 5?
The Mirror Universe episodes, there's, like, in the season 2, there's a Mirror Universe episode, and from there, there's one every season.
Season 2? Which one? The alternate?
No, I didn't put it on the list.
What is it called?
I can even tell you the Mirror Universe episodes really honestly if I wanted to right now, but just give me a second. Crossover is the first Mirror Universe episode.
Crossover.
Yeah.
Wait, but that was on the list.
No, it wasn't.
The Cardassians, Rule of Acquisition, Lester Evil, the alternate crossover. No, wait, what? No, the alternate Marquis Wire Jumper. Oh no, it's not.
Yeah, it's not.
Well, okay. I thought it was there, but it's not.
Wait, actually, you know what? Can I add one more?
In season 2?
Yeah, sorry.
Sure.
I was kind of on the fence with this before I told you the list, but now I'm like, okay, no, I kind of have to. The Collaborator, which is season 2, episode 24.
The collab. Is it before the Wire or after the Wire?
It's after the Wire.
What's it called?
The Collaborator.
There we go. Dang it.
Alright, well, this is our longest episode yet.
What?
Yeah,
no.
46 minutes long is our longest episode yet. We should just end it now. Anything else you want to say?
Morn should have his own episode. I want Morn the movie. You know what? Make it a movie.
Okay.
Make it a movie.
And I'll end the episode just to say, in the time that you listen to this podcast, you could have watched an episode of Deep Space Nine.